morning students, welcome all of you to online English class. In the previous class we had discussed Vandana Shiva's environmental essay, Everything I Need to Know I Learned in the Forest. In the previous class we have seen how Vandana Shiva got inspired during her childhood itself from the uneducated rural women of Garhwal village in Himalayan region. Not only that, Vandana Shiva's mother, she was a farmer, and her father, she was a forest conservator. Because of her parents, Vandana Shiva got inspired, and Vandana Shiva's mother, she used to compose songs on trees, forest and forest civilization. After that, Vandana Shiva got inspiration from Chipko movement, which was started in 1970s by the rural women of Garhwal village in Himalayan region, where forest officers and woodcutters used to cut tree for the purpose of getting timber, wood, logs to make profit. But the uneducated women, they came in the defense of the forest by declaring that the woodcutters have to kill them before the cutting trees. So this is known as Chipko movement. So Chipko means literally sticking or hugging. By hugging the trees, these women, they protected the forest. It is a non-violence response against deforestation that we have discussed in the previous class. And after that, Vandana Shiva lay emphasis on monocultures and beyond monocultures. So how to get beyond monocultures to practically make this happen, she started Navadanya Farm in 1994. In 1987, Vandana Shiva started Navadanya movement. See, this Navadanya movement was to collect seeds from farmers and to collect different species. She was able to produce 630 varieties of rice and 150 varieties of wheat in Navadanya farm. Whatever Navadanya movement she started, because of this movement, she was able to set up 100 community seed banks across the country. Next, she threw light on rights of nature on the global stage, which means, so what are the different efforts have been done by different countries to protect nature. When nature is a teacher, we co-create with her, we recognize her agency and her rights. That is why it is significant that UKADR has recognized the rights of nature in its constitution. In April 2011, the United Nations General Assembly, inspired by the constitution of UKADR and the Universal Declaration of the Rights of Mother Earth initiated by Bolivia, organized a conference on harmony with nature as part of Earth Day celebrations. Much of the discussion centered on ways to transform systems based on domination of people over nature, men over women and rich over poor into new systems based on partnership. It means when nature is a teacher, when we look at nature as teacher, we can co-create with her, we can learn with her, we recognize her agency. Agency means her role, her importance and her rights. Not only recognizing the importance of nature, as well as we need to recognize the rights of nature. That is why it is significant that UKADR, so one of the countries, one of the states has recognized the rights of nature in its constitution. In its constitution, UKADR has given a separate rights for the nature. Along with this, United Nations General Assembly in 2011, inspired by the constitution of UKADR and the Universal Declaration of Rights of Mother Earth initiated by Bolivia. Bolivia, another country, this country has given the Universal Rights of Declaration of Mother Earth. So inspired by UKADR and Bolivia, the UNO's General Assembly, it organized a conference on the topic harmony with nature. So when UNO's General Assembly organized this conference as a part of Earth Day celebrations. In this conference, much of the discussion centered on the ways to transform systems. So earlier we have the systems are of domination-oriented systems, domination of people over nature, domination of men over women and domination of rich over poor. So these are the systems so far we are following, but in this conference, the discussion centered on how to change these systems, new systems based on partnership. Partnership means here equal rights. So even men have equal rights as compared to nature. even rich has equal rights when compared to poor, and even women have equal rights when compared to men. So they discussed how to change, how to completely modify, how to create new systems which are giving prominence for equality. That they discussed in the organized conference. Later, the discussion, the UN Secretary General's report. After the discussion, they released a report titled Harmony with Nature. In this report, it elaborates on the importance of reconnecting with nature. This report clearly highlights how to reconnect human beings with nature. It clearly declared that ultimately environmentally destructive behavior is a result of a failure to recognize that human beings are inseparable part of nature and that we cannot damage it without severely damaging ourselves. In that report titled Harmony with Nature, it is clearly written that finally environmentally destructive behavior. It means why human beings are destroying nature and environment, because the human beings, they themselves think that they are separate from nature, but actually they are inseparable part of nature. Human beings are living with nature, but human beings are failing to recognize this. And if human beings are damaging the nature, it is, in other words, they are damaging themselves. If human beings damage nature, they are damaging themselves. So because of the damage of destruction of human beings over nature, whatever the natural calamities and natural imbalance, global warming, all these things we are facing today, all these are because of the destructive behavior of human beings. We need to come out of this by thinking that, by believing that human beings are inseparable part of nature. We should not destroy nature, instead we should protect nature. Separatism is indeed at the root of disharmony with nature and violence against nature and people. As a prominent South African environmentalist, Cormac Cullinan points out, apartheid means separateness. The world joined the anti-apartheid movement to end the violent separation of people on the basis of color. Apartheid in South Africa was put behind us. Today we need to overcome the wider and deeper apartheid and eco-apartheid based on the illusion of separateness of humans from nature in our minds and lives. It means separatism is indeed at the root of disharmony with nature. So what is the basic reason for separatism of human beings from nature? Means disharmony with nature. We are not living in cooperation with nature. So that is the main reason. And violence against nature and people. And the second reason is human beings are exhibiting violence against nature and people as well. The prominent South African environmentalist Cormac Cullinan. According to Cormac Cullinan, apartheid means separateness. So apartheid means separateness where human beings separated other human beings on the basis of color. On the basis of color, blacks and whites. Whites used to dominate and suppress black people. This is called as apartheid. And the world joined to end this very violent, very aggressive, very cruel system to end this apartheid movement. Anti-apartheid movement was started and the world joined its hands together to end this movement. But today, during the time of contemporary period, we are facing even more wider apartheid, that is eco-apartheid. Eco-apartheid means human beings, they themselves imagine and they themselves believe and practice that they are separate from nature. Not only they imagine, they even live like that. They live a separate life in a way which is destroying nature. But earlier human beings used to live a simple life which is eco-friendly life. But today's modern world, human beings are living a lifestyle which is against to nature, in a way which is harming nature, which is very dangerous to nature. Because of this belief that human beings are separate from nature, human beings are destroying nature, thinking that if they destroy nature, only nature is going to affected, only nature is going to be destroyed. But it is their foolishness, because human beings are inseparable part of nature. It is like a man sitting on the branch and cutting the same branch on which he is sitting. What happens when the branch falls down? Even the man falls down. In the same way, human beings are living in nature. If they destroy nature, even human beings, they destroy themselves. I hope all of you have understood this. So this is today's session. Whatever we have discussed today, all of you have understood, I think. So if you don't understand it, read the text once again, how the different countries, they are trying to protect nature by implementing different laws. But how many laws we implement, unless and until the human beings mindset change to accept nature as superior, to live with nature in cooperation, we cannot save nature. I am going to dictate you one more questions from this. I request all of you to write down the first question. When we can co-create with nature? When we can co-create with nature? Second question. Which country has recognized the rights of nature in its constitution? Which country has recognized the rights of nature in its constitution? Next question. Who gave the Universal Declaration of Rights of Mother Earth? Who gave the Universal Declaration of the Rights of Mother Earth? Next question. Who organized a conference on harmony with nature? Who organized a conference on harmony with nature? How the conference wanted to change the existing systems. How the conference wanted to change existing systems. Next question. Name the UN Secretary's General Report. Name the UN Secretary's General Report. Next question. What was written in the report Harmony with Nature? What was written in the report Harmony with Nature? Next question. Which are the two reasons for separatism? Which are the two reasons for separatism? Next question. Who is Cormac Cullinan? Who is Cormac Cullinan? Next question. What do you mean by apartheid? What do you mean by apartheid? Next question. Give the meaning of the term eco-apartheid. Give the meaning of the term eco-apartheid. Next question. If human beings destroy nature, what happens? If human beings destroy nature, what happens? I hope all of you have understood this session. So all of you read the essay once again. In the next class, we are going to discuss the Dead Earth worldview. Until then, all of you take care. Bye.